kind of love. Special 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 kind of love.
Hey everyone, we're so happy to have you with us. Why has it all gone dark? Oh, I can't see anything now. That's better. Well, since we've been seeing so many rainbow colours recently, I thought I'd wear some rainbow-like colours myself. I hope you like them. So today we're continuing our theme of love. So thank you so much for everything that you've been sending in. We've had some wonderful pictures of all the crafts that you've been doing. So here's Peter and Gabriel's wonderful prayer heart chains, where they were writing names of people they were praying for. They're so good and amazing, Peter and Gabriel. Here's Rosie's prayer heart chains, with loads of people she's been praying for as well. This is so great, Rosie, well done. And Jack has made both prayer hearts and kindness flowers. We love these, Jack, thanks for sending them in. And finally here are Phoebe and Rowan's kindness flowers, one of which was so big they had to get creative in supporting it. Looks like an aerial or something. These are really creative. Thanks so much for showing us. So, we've been finding some hilarious baked things. We've been finding some hilarious baked things recently. For instance, have you seen this baked toilet roll cake? That's because people are hoarding toilet rolls, and so it really increased sales. You could say that they were on a roll. Now, you may be wondering, why am I trying to unsuccessfully put a pot on my head? Well, after such a good response to the hedgehog competition, we've got a new competition for you. You've heard of the Great British Bake Off, but now it's time for the Great Hereford Bake Off. We want you to make, with grown-up help if needed, a cake with a rainbow theme. It could be the shape of a rainbow or rainbow colours, completely up to you. Grown-ups can of course enter too, but we'll have a special category for under 18s. Send pictures in this week and we'll display all the entries next Saturday. Instead of Paul Hollywood and Prue Leith being judges, however, you will be the judges. That's right, you. We'll display all the entries next week, next Saturday, and then you'll be able to vote on your favourite. We'll announce the winner of the votes the Saturday after, so in 2 weeks' time. So here are a few ideas I found on the internet for inspiration. So it will be so good if we could really encourage each other by these wonderful rainbow cakes. I'm really looking forward to see what you create. It's gonna be smashing. Oh, that hurt. But without further ado, we've got our song. Our God is a great big God with enough love for everyone. So, to kick us off, here's a special message from our vicar Andy, who is also dancing and doing air guitar actions for the song.
Hello everyone, and it's great to have you joining us again for SPSJ Kids. we had this idea to do this more child-friendly service, and Elliot's been doing a fantastic job, and we've been overwhelmed how many of you are watching and joining in with it. Thank you for all the comments that are coming in. It really encourages Elliot, who's doing a great job, and I know there's people watching as far away as Australia, so warm welcome to you all today, and I hope you're enjoying another SPSJ Kids service. A special welcome for those who attend one of our primary schools, St James or St Thomas Canterlot. We're delighted that the two schools are working with us on this now, and we're excited to see what that partnership might look like as we go on doing these services together online. I want to just make sure you're all okay though. We're really missing coming in and seeing you in school. We're missing the assemblies, the prayer spaces. We're missing you coming in and having those special celebration services as well in our church buildings. And I hope you're doing okay in this lockdown. I don't know if you've got any hairdressing skills in your house. We haven't, so I went for a very basic look. I hope your parents have cut your hair a bit better during this lockdown if you've had a haircut. What we're going to do now is we're going to sing a song together. It's called Our God is a Great Big God, and I'm sure you all know it. I'm going to be doing the actions and singing along to a backing track as well, and I want you all to join in with this today. I want you all to get involved, to get on your feet, get active, do the actions, and if you can and your parents say it's okay, we'd love you to record yourselves doing the actions to this and send it in to SPSJ Kids via our Facebook or YouTube or wherever, or you can email it into curate@spsj.org.uk. It's curate@spsj.org.uk, and send your videos in, because we'd love to kind of put amalgamation all together and merge all the videos and just see everybody getting involved and joining in with this amazing song. Our God is a great big God.
Each week we're thinking about different parts of the meaning of love as we read in the Bible verses in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Last week we thought about how real love is always patient and kind. Today we're thinking about some of the next few words in the Bible passage which say that love is not self-seeking and it is not easily angered. So we're thinking about how real love isn't selfish. It doesn't put me first. It isn't all me, me, me. Instead, it cares about other people. It also isn't eagerly angered, being short-tempered and shouting at people when you don't like something they said or did. That's because when we're angry, we often do things that are really nasty and mean and are not loving. But instead, real love is calm and gentle. So now we're going to have our story, which is another parable, a story with a meaning that Jesus told. It's about not being easily angered or selfish, and instead forgiving people when they do wrong to us and saying, hey, that's okay, and staying friends with them rather than falling out. So today's story is one that Jesus told to show us how important forgiveness is. The idea that when someone does wrong to us, we need to make up with them, not fall out with them, but instead become friends again. And that's a big part of what real love means. It's a story that Jesus told to illustrate that point. It's called the unforgiving servant. Peter asked Jesus a question. If someone hurts me, he said, and then says, I'm really sorry, how many times should I forgive him and say, oh, hey, that's okay? Before Jesus could answer, however, Peter offered an answer of his own. He thought it would sound good. He thought it would sound really big-hearted. He thought it would be the kind of thing that Jesus would like to hear. Should I forgive him 7 times? Peter asked. It seemed like a lot of times to Peter. But Jesus wasn't impressed. No, answered Jesus. Not 7 times, but 70 times 7 times. Peter did some quick sums. That was a lot of times, a whole lot of times. More times than Peter had ever forgiven anybody. So Jesus told him a story. Once there was a king, and one of his servants owed him money. Not a little money, not lots of money, but loads and loads and loads of money. Millions and billions and trillions and squillions and quadrillions and googles and every kind of number and more. He was in trouble. One day the servant was brought before the king, and because he couldn't pay what he owed, the king was very, very upset with him. The servant fell to his knees. I'm really sorry. Be patient with me, please. Just give me another chance, and I promise I'll pay back everything I owe. The king looked at his servant. He felt sorry for him. And then, much to the servant's surprise and joy, the king smiled and said, Hey, that's okay. Then he called off the debts, the massive debts, and he set him free. The servant left the palace celebrating. Yahoo! Yahoo! No more debt. But that's when something went wrong. He bumped into a servant who also owed him money. Not loads of money, but a tiny little bit of money. But did that servant remember what the king did for him? Not for a minute. He grabbed the second servant by the throat and he demanded to be paid. Pay me back what you owe! So the second servant fell to his knees. I'm really sorry. Be patient with me. Please, give me another chance and I'll pay back everything I owe. But instead of saying, hey, that's okay, as the king had done, the first servant had the second servant thrown into jail.
No!
Word of this, it got back to the king. And he was so upset that he had the first servant brought before him again. He said, when you came to me and said, I'm really sorry, I called off your debt. And I said, hey, that's okay. Why couldn't you do the same? Jesus looked at his friend. God is like that king. I'm really sorry. That's what we say to him. More times than we can count. And even more times than that, he tells us, hey, that's okay. And all he really wants is for us to tell that to each other too. I'm really sorry, said Peter. I didn't understand. Jesus just smiled and said, hey, that's okay. The end. So what's the message of this story? Well, the king represents God, who forgives us for really big things that we do wrong. So he wants us to do the same for the much smaller things that other people do wrong to us. He says, hey, that's okay, even when we do really bad things. So he wants us to follow his example and say, hey, that's okay to other people when they do wrong to us. This is one thing that love does. Real love doesn't get angry easily, but instead loves to forgive people. Real love doesn't fall out with people even when they upset us, but instead much prefers to make it up and be friends again. So now, to think of more ways of thinking about others more than ourselves, we now have our craft, sponge rainbows. So one of the things we're thinking about love today is that it is not self-seeking, and what that means is that love loves to do things for other people and to show them love and to make them feel special. So what we're doing today is making a rainbow poster to put on our windows for our friends as they pass by so that they can feel loved. What you need for this is just some paper, some pens in different colours, rainbow colours if possible. You need some paints in as many different rainbow colours as you can. And then the key part, a sponge. A dry sponge. It needs to be completely dry. Either a new sponge or a sponge that's been left to dry out. And then to push it on the window, some blue tack. So, first of all, get your piece of paper, get your sponge with the spongy side up top, not the rough side. Then on this, we're going to put blobs of paint in the order of rainbow colours. So we're going to start with red, put a nice big blob at the top of red. Then what comes after that? Orange. I love to think about the colours of the rainbow. Put a bit of a gap between that and the top one if you can. See, there's a bit of a gap. Then yellow. You can put as much on as you want. The more you put on, the more you'll get a really full looking rainbow. And the way I remember the order of the colours, by the way, is by the poem Richard of York Gave Battle in Vain. How have you learnt to remember the colours? I used to really like doing everything in rainbow colours because I think it's just so amazing to have all these different colours. So as you see there, I've got 4 colours now. A bit of blue there. And then the sort of bluey purple colour, which is indigo. Really nice colour, I like that one. Looks like the sky just before the stars come out at night. And then finally, this wonderful purpley rosy colour for the end, right at the bottom of the sponge like that. There we go. 7 rainbow colours. And now what we're going to do now? We're going to do our washing up with that. No, I think it'll make all our plates funny colours. No, instead we're going to put it this way up with the red at the top so we can get the red on the outside of the rainbow. We're going to sweep across like this using the sponge a bit like a paintbrush. You just get one chance to do this once you put the colours on, so make sure you do it all in one continuous sweep. So I'm going to put it down and then sweep across. There you go. So what you get here is you get a really nice effect. You get a full rainbow to start with, and then it like filters off as though it's going off just where the rain's stopping falling. So there we go, the first bit. Now what we need to do is let that dry. So while I'm waiting for the rainbow to dry, I'm just going to give Shaba a nice stroke. Well, let's see if she wants to show her tummy. Good, Shaba. She's showing your tummy especially for all of you who are watching. I want you to see my fluffy tummy. I like it being fluffed and stroked. Oh, thanks, Shaba, for helping us pass the time. Come on, rainbow painting, dry! Not working. I'll just have to be patient. Well, anyway, I'm meant to not be easily angered anyway. So let's have a quick talk about rainbows. So rainbows are like a symbol of hope. And so by putting them in our windows, we want to show everyone that they are loved and that there is still hope. There's still hope in God's promises. All the different colours of God's promises. So, I'm very out of breath after all that blowing. But here the rainbow's a bit drier now, and it started to go onto this rainbow sponge as well. But maybe it could be a rainbow sponge cake. Maybe I could enter that for the rainbow-themed Hereford bake-off. Well, so what we're going to do now is write the name of someone we want to really show love to. We're going to stick this up on our windows and think about who might be passing by that we want to send a message of love to. So we're going to write the name at the top, and we're going to say at the bottom, you are loved, as a message. So I'm going to choose my amazing wife Naomi, so that when she comes in the door, she'll know that she is loved. And a way you might want to do this is, you may want to, each letter, use a different colour of the rainbow so it looks really colourful. So I'm going to start by putting Naomi's name at the top, with each letter being a different colour. Let's underline that just to make it even more pronounced. So there we have, Naomi, you are loved. Now let's just put some blue tack on that, ready to go on the window. So there we have it, a wonderful sign of hope and love to people passing by, so that we can think of others even more than we think of ourselves. So there we have our rainbows of hope ready to put on the window. Now it might be when you're putting it on the window, you want to say a prayer for this person. So maybe you'd like to hold it in your hands, and we want to pray that God would let them know that they are loved by us and by Him. So let's pray a very simple prayer together. Hold it in your hands, hold it up just like this, and let's pray. Dear God, please let Naomi know that she is loved by me and by you. Amen. You can say that with the name of whoever you want to pray for. So let's put this up on our window. Here it is, up on our window. So we're sad to be coming to the end now, but just time for one last song. So remember how the rainbow is a symbol of hope and a better future. Just like the song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's the idea that there is a better future ahead. Somewhere over the rainbow. And there is somewhere over the rainbow. This song is about God making a bright future ahead of us, that these darker days will end, and that Jesus has made a place there for you and for me.
There is a place made for me, where light shines through the dark, a world beyond the stars. I know I am going, a perfect world made for me, yeah, I believe. Over the horizon, light shining brighter. It shines through me for all to see. Yeah, I believe. Over the horizon, your perfect love is rising. I'm gonna shout it out, shout it out. Oh, I believe there's a place for me. It's all you can imagine, beyond your wildest dreams. A perfect world made for you and me. Jesus, I believe. I'm gonna shout it out, shout it out. Oh, I believe there's a place for me. It's all you can imagine, beyond your wildest dreams. A perfect world made for you and me. Jesus, I Jesus, perfect world made for you and me. Jesus, I believe.
So wow, with Jesus there is a place for me and a place for you and a hope for the future. So thanks so much for joining us for SPSJ Kids this week. We've loved having you here. It's been so amazing. So there's so many things for this week to send in. There's the Great Hereford Bake Off, so please do bake your rainbow themed cakes for us and send images in so we can have some ready for you to vote your favourite next week. And also, as Andy said, send us in your videos dancing and doing actions to Our God is a Great Big God. We can't wait to show you all these next week. But until then, keep loving. Over and out.